So great to have you, Caesar. And for anyone else joining this call, hopefully you find this valuable. So Caesar, let's, I guess, start off with, do you have any questions that you have lingering? And if you have your camera, you can turn that on too. That'd be cool. If not, totally cool. But what questions do you have as far as, for your business, anything in general? I mean, the floor is yours right now.
Yeah, basically I'm just getting started with Funnelbolt. So I just barely got everything hooked up about I think last week or a week ago or two or something like that. And
Okay.
so I haven't even started using it yet.
Okay.
I've been on Podios, but I've been using.
Podio.
So
Okay.
but I just wanted to try. Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of business are you planning to use Funnelbolt for? Like, what do you plan on using it for?
Just follow, what we're doing is just buying houses and just following up with the
Okay.
leads.
That's right. We spoke last week about that. So have you been able to dive in and kind of start setting up some automations? Like, where are you at when it comes to like setting up all your campaigns and all that cool stuff?
All I got as far as I finally got everything squared away with Twilio because I was having problems with that. They wanted like
Okay.
all kind, they wanted all. So I got that squared away last week, and then got the email hooked up. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm freshly lost.
So you got your Twilio set up, and you got your SendGrid set up correctly, right?
Yeah.
Perfect, man. So you're this close to rock and roll. So at this point, all you have to do is go in and create a campaign. And here, let me just share my screen here. One sec.
I got my laptop up right now. That way I could see if I could follow along.
Yeah. So basically, at this point, you're just needing to, one sec, let me pull you guys over here. So you're just at this point needing to just create a campaign. Okay. And all you would do is just come in here, create campaign. And as long as you have, your SendGrid and Twilio all set up, then you should be able to create a campaign and actually set it live and all that cool stuff. Now, let me ask you this, Caesar, where are your leads going to come from? Are you planning on running ads? Do you plan on cold calling? Like, what's your strategy to get the contacts?
Right now, I was doing Facebook leads, and I gotta go back and re-update all that. They like blocked my account, I guess, because all the I don't know why they did. I gotta go fix that again. But right now,
So you plan on bringing them from
calling.
Facebook?
Yeah, no, yeah, I was bringing them from Facebook, but I gotta go back and fix that. They blocked my account for some reason. I don't know why. So,
okay. So either way, so even if is Facebook right now like your only like prospecting strategy?
No, cold calling. What I wanted to ask you, how can I build like a custom landing page? Because what I do, I give my website page, my web page to my cold caller. He inputs their the information. It's name, last name, phone number, email, property address. Is there a way like to make like a custom web form that could give to my cold caller? We could just input that when he gets a hold of the lead.
So the best way to do it is, so you can go under clients, right? And you can give access to your sales guide, to your CRM, to your dashboard, right? And so you would go under clients, well, not clients, contacts, I believe, right here. And then you would go into here where it says custom field. You see this here under contacts?
Custom field.
It's right here.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Okay, so click that.
Okay.
And in here, this is where you're going to want to add those fields. And so I'll show you here after you add the field. So you obviously just click add custom field. And then here you would put like, whatever you said you needed. So what were the subjects or the?
Let me put up my Podio one I have right now.
Okay. So yeah, you would just put those fields in, whether it's like zip code or whatever it is, or, what are they looking for, this type of property, that type of property, whatever it is. You would add those custom fields, right? And then what you would do is under deals. Okay, let me go over to a different pipeline so this doesn't confuse you. Let's go over to, let's see, I guess this one maybe. All right, this is clean. So, okay. So under deals, right now you probably see it's very basic, right? It's just kind of the default. So right now what you want to do is you would just want to add a deal stage. And after you've set up your custom fields, you'll see them in here. Okay, so add deal. When you add a deal, after you've set up the custom field, you'll see all the custom fields that you've set up here. In this case, you see how ours is like set up for like SEO. So service offered, service area, how many locations, private service, primary service offered, reputation online, local or national company, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And so you need to set the custom fields up so that they show up here. Another way that you can get to the custom field section is when you're in the deal stage section here, you could just click on add deal. And then up here, there's a little button that says click here to customize the form fields. And then it'll take you to the same area here where you see all my custom fields.
Okay. And is there a way like to give my give them a link for the web form where they could just where it pops up and they could just input the information?
Like a Google form?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that would just be okay. So for that to happen, the way that that would work is here. Let me just show you here. So essentially, you would have, you know, here you would have your Google sheet, and then, or well, no, not even a Google sheet. You would want to do it with like a Google form.
Google form.
Okay, where you have all the line items, right? All the information that you want the guy to submit. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what you would do is you would set a Zapier to import these fields into Funnelbolt.
Okay. And do I have to set whatever's up there into the custom fields?
Yeah, because so the way that this would work is this. So in Funnelbolt, so these are so let's just say, you know, these are all different fields, right? All of these, right? You know, you want to put put that information into the right like column field in Funnelbolt, right? So in order to do that, you have to basically, you know, just make the exact same custom fields inside of your Funnelbolt account so that you have a placeholder to put the data, you know, that your rep is inputting. Make sense? Because you'll get this data inputted into you'll get the data inputted into the form, but you won't have a placeholder inside a Funnelbolt to put it unless you have custom fields set up.
Okay.
That way, when you look at the contact inside of Funnelbolt, you know, let's go back over to Funnelbolt here. What's going on, Scott? Great to have you, brother. Let's go in here. So back into Funnelbolt. Where the heck is my Funnelbolt screen? All right, here. You guys can see Funnelbolt, right? So when you would hit the zap up, Caesar, you would basically inside of the contact, so inside of Zapier, you'll be able to, you know, add the custom fields that are submitted in the form into the right slots inside of Funnelbolt. So that way you can now leverage any of those fields that guy submitted, that your rep submitted in the form. You can leverage that information for an email, you know, for a text message, and you can, you know, input that into any campaign now. So as long as it's in the form and you put that into the right custom field, you're able to take that custom field and use it on any which way, shape, or form inside of a campaign.
Okay. So
I
put I put a test under deals. I have a test lead under well, it's a real lead. But how would I from there, where do I go with it?
Okay, so have you set up your custom fields?
It was just a not exactly how I wanted it, but I mean it'll work for now.
But you know how to do it. You got that down, okay?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So once you've gotten that, what you need to do is create a Google form. Okay, so create a Google form and set the questions up in that Google form for the, you know, with the questions that you want your rep to essentially fill in. And then once that's set up, then you just got to go into your Zapier account and integrate that Google form with Funnelbolt. So it basically pushes that information into the Funnelbolt account on autopilot the second that your rep submits that information in that Google form.
Okay. Okay, so see how you have that on the first column, you have something right there. Once they get in there, what's next from there?
So it depends. I mean, and this comes down to what you want to happen when a lead gets put into this column, okay? So you
Okay.
can decide whether you want a campaign to trigger as soon as a lead gets put into lead in. So for example, in Zapier, you would say, okay, anytime my rep puts and submits information through my Google form, I want Zapier to push that information into column lead in inside of my Funnelbolt account.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Now,
So
what I was going to say is if you click on this little, so this is the name of the column, right? But if you click on settings over here on this right-hand side, okay, next to deal, you'll see that in lead in, okay, so you see lead in, right now there is absolutely no campaign set up to trigger when a lead goes into that pipe stage, in that pipeline stage. So are we on the same page? I don't want to lose you.
yeah, I clicked on settings. Yeah.
Correct. So you go over to settings and you see all your deal stages listed like you see on my screen,
Uh-huh.
right? Okay, so in order for you to trigger anything to happen, okay, you need to set up a campaign first under campaigns in the campaign section. Okay, so for example, let's just do a role play here. And so that we can kind of just play around with this so you can see kind of how this works. And Scott, by the way, if you have any questions, brother, either drop them in the chat or just unmute yourself and jump in at any point so that we can kind of also answer your questions as well. So we're just kind of going through a basic flow from a Google form into Funnelbolt. But this exact thing I'm about to cover with you, Scott, is the exact same process as if you were to drive that lead from Facebook ads or a manual input. Like what I'm about to cover is how to set up these triggers to fire off anytime a lead enters a specific deal stage, okay? So to continue on, so basically, Caesar and Scott, the way this works is here, campaign 4, this is the account that I'm under, or the client account that I'm under. As you can see here are all my different client accounts. I'm under SEO for contractors. So I'm building a campaign specifically for this account, okay? So in this campaign, I'm going to put, test campaign is the name. Okay, and I want this to run all days, Monday through Sunday. So it doesn't matter when the lead comes into the pipeline, I want it to trigger. It doesn't matter the day of the week, okay? And then here you toggle this auto stops when someone responds, when you want it to auto stop when someone responds, right? This would be more so if you're trying to get someone to book an appointment, or if you're just trying to get someone to respond or engage so that you can then take control and go into that conversation and do whatever you want to do, right? Usually we do this and we use this in our business where, when the lead comes in, we say, hey, Caesar, we just received your information. Just to confirm, you're looking for X type of service. Just basically confirming like what they submitted their information for. And then they're going to say yes, right? And there we go. Now we have a qualified lead. And so if they do not respond, okay, because this is on, if I send that text message out the second that lead comes in, but I don't get a response, because I toggled this on, I can trigger maybe another text message to go out an hour later. Hey, Caesar, just wanted to confirm. I just got your information about an hour ago. Just want to make sure you're still interested in X, for example. All right, so let's just set that basic super basic flow up together here. And I'm going to integrate it into that first stage of that pipeline, right? So that you can see how all that is set up. And now the only thing left is to just integrate your Google form into Funnelbolt to drop into that deal stage, and automatically that trigger will happen, okay? So here we go. So you have any questions before I go through this?
Yeah, the way I run mine, like when they submit the lead in there, manually call them and find out if it's a deal, because we're looking for fixed rate houses, so we don't pay market value. So
For sure.
I would call them, and then from there I would either be, it'd be a lead or put them on a warm follow-up or a cold long-term follow-up.
For sure. So the way you want to look at this follow-up is speed to lead. Okay, speed to lead, meaning if you're on the road or you're with a client or you're this and that, and you can't call the lead ASAP, this should serve as that carpet, that red carpet that rolls out the second they submit information. It's like, bam, I got your information. Unless it's like a cold call, you know, that you're doing, and that's different. That's cold, right? But if they're
Yeah.
coming to you and they're, you know, you're running an ad and they're submitting information to you, then
Yeah.
bam, speed to lead's got to be there. You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, just got your information. Thank you so much. I'm super excited to speak to you about da 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 da. Like, I mean, the flow just needs to be professional, sharp, and on like fast.
Yeah. So that would be
Because
good for a Facebook lead.
well,
So you
Facebook
could just.
lead, and you know, obviously if you're doing cold calling, that sales process will be different because it's outbound versus inbound, right? Outbound,
Yeah.
you're calling them versus they calling you or setting an appointment with you or submitting information to you. And then that's where you would have to work the lead and then get them on a call so you can then qualify them for your thing and then go that process, right?
Okay.
But when you're outbound, I mean, you're qualifying the lead right then and there. I mean, on the call, right? So let's just do a super basic flow together, guys, so that we can get an example on how this works. So in this example, let's just pretend that we're getting a lead from Facebook ads. So we're running leads, an ad, and we're going to do a form, and we're going to collect information that way. Okay. And what we're going to set up is a trigger so that when a lead does come through the pipeline on Facebook, a text message goes out, and even an email goes out instantly, and then maybe an hour later in case they don't reply. Okay. So here we go. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to relative, because what I want to happen is I want that message to go out instantly after that image, that lead gets submitted. Okay. So relative time, send a text message after 1 minute and 0 hours on day one. Okay. I don't have an existing message set up, so I'm just going to create a custom message, and I'm going to just do an example here. So let's just say I got a lead. I'm going to say something along the lines of, hey, first name, right? This is Caesar, and I apologize if I spelled your name wrong. This is Caesar from Caesar Realty or whatever. We just received your information about selling your home. Is that what you do? Selling? What do you do? Sell homes or buy homes? Like, what do you do?
Buy and fix them.
You buy and fix them. Okay, so you're basically looking for people that's selling their homes, so you could buy them, right? So we just received information about selling your home. Are you? Does a call work? We could do a question here. We could say something like, so you're saying you want to get on a call with them? Does Zoom, or I would say, I would say like this actually. So, hey, this is Caesar from Caesar Realty. Just received your information about selling your home. Is this first name? Question mark. That would be the message I'd send. Right? Okay. Because I want them to just acknowledge that they are the person that submitted the lead before we even get into anything.
Yeah, I get a lot of wrong numbers all the time.
Correct. So what is this going to do? It's going to give us the right person with the right number, and he's qualifying himself as like, yeah, my name is Mary, and yes, you just got my information because I am interested in selling my home. Are we on the same page? So It's a simple ask, a simple yes, and this works wonders. So if you're not doing this, definitely recommend to input this into your campaigns ASAP. Okay, so next, let's go to the next one. So at the same exact time, I want to send also an email right away. Let's just send it like 3 minutes later, just so it's not right away. And literally, I'm going to copy the exact same message, except I'm going to add, hey, this is Caesar from Caesar Realty. Just sent you a text message a few minutes ago. Right? We just received your information about selling your home. Is this Mary? So really what we're doing is like a trifecta effect. You're sending a text message first, and our email is just a follow-up on the text message, just making sure that they received our text message, not to have a conversation in email. It's just another avenue, another angle where we can get because we have their email, so might as well use it, right?
Yeah.
And then bam, okay? Now, one thing you guys can do, which I highly recommend, is this. Add an additional follow-up sequence, okay? And add what we call a voicemail, all right? It takes you less than 5 minutes. Take out your phone, okay? Record an MP4 voice message, and you're gonna say something along the lines of this. I mean, and it's gonna be contingent on your industry, but just hear me out. This would be, for example, for Caesar. Hey, what's going on? It's Caesar from Caesar Realty. Super excited. We just received your information about selling your home. Our team is going to be in contact with you here shortly. We cannot wait to, help you, sell your home. Be looking out for a phone call or a text message from this phone number. We look forward to talking to you soon. Bam. And that's automated. Okay. You see what I mean? And when that's automated, the beauty of this is this. The beauty of this is this, that the consumer, the prospect, does not know it was automated. So they think you physically picked up the phone, called them ASAP, and bam, got a message in their inbox. Another thing you can say to buy yourself some time is in that voicemail, say, hey, this is Caesar from Caesar Realty. Right now, I'm on a call with a current client. I'm going to have my team give you a call here shortly. Just wanted to let you know that we did get your information and that we're excited to help you sell your home. Can't wait to help you, find the solution. I look forward to our call. Bam. And so that way, now it's automated, but you've bought yourself time by literally mentioning that you're busy or whatever it is. But the reality is you're not. You're just buying yourself some time so your team can give them a call within a timely manner, or even yourself if you can't call them right away. But you also then have your text message and your email backup plan in case. I mean, think about it. Now they just got a voicemail, a text, and an email, all within 5 minutes, all on autopilot. And think about how that experience is for the consumer. Imagine you submitting information and you just got an email or a voicemail from the owner. Hey, what's going on? It's owner name from business name. Super excited. Got you just your information. I can't wait to help you sell your home. Be looking out. Right now, we're on the line with another customer. Be looking out for a call from X number, so that we can help you, find a solution for your home or whatever it is. Like you just write that script however you want, but you get the gist of it. So let's just say, for example, they do not reply to any of those messages. Okay, then I'm going to add a follow-up sequence that goes out, text message, relative time. And I wanted to send on date. So I wanted to send relative on day 2. Let's say 1 minute. So it's going to be relative on day 2 at the same time that first message went out. So my first message went out. If they came in at 3:50, it's going to be the exact same time, just on that second day if I choose relative. Or I can choose specific. So if I go to specific and I say send text message on the second day, 2 days at, let's just say I want to send it. And here's a little golden nugget for you guys. If you're talking about following up with people, you got to think about where they're at. Okay. And what I mean by that is think about what your day-to-day looks like. Okay. You as an agency or a marketing agency, or if you work remotely, your schedule is a lot different than the average corporate person, right? So we can't really compare to them, but we have to think about who is opting into our stuff, right? And so those are usually like people who work corporate jobs or this and that, right? And they have full-time gigs and families and this and that. So what are the best times to reach out to people and follow up and do sales calls? Well, morning time, right? Before you get to work. So usually around 8:30, 9 o'clock when you're getting ready, you got your coffee going, you're pumped up, you haven't dealt with all the crap from work yet, you're in a good mood. It's the first thing in the morning, right? Okay. Second best time to follow up is at lunch. Okay. Between 12:30 and 1. Why? Because you're in a good mood. Think about how you feel after you eat. Okay. You could have had a bad morning, you eat lunch, and now you feel better. Okay. Anybody who you reach out to, if you're doing cold calls, Caesar, this is golden nuggets for you right here. Okay. You build your teams around these times. The next best time to reach out your clients and follow up, sales calls, follow up, or any of that is at 4:30, right before they leave. Usually most people end at 5. 4:30 to 5 is usually kind of where they're closing down. Everything is kind of wrapping up. They're getting ready to leave the office and this and that, or leave work, and they're already kind of clocked out of their corporate job and they're ready to kind of move on and get out of there and talk to you about whatever it is. So best times: morning before 9, 8:30 to 9, lunchtime 12 to 12:30, 12:30 to 1, depending on who you're talking to. Doctors usually 12:30 to 1, and then you have 4:30 to 5, and then if you need to, you would follow up in the evening times after 5, because that's when people are home and they're this and that. So depending on how many times you want to reach out, just make sure you're scheduling them, because you can, at those specific times. Because if you can control what you can control, you might as well do that, right? Because if you could choose to send a message at 8:30 versus at freaking 10:30, when it's the middle of prime time day, right, when they're in the middle of dealing with clients and stuff, right, then the chances of you getting a response back from that client at that time is very slim, or that prospects is very slim, because they're usually at work, or whatever that is. They usually can't use their phone at work. And so you want to make sure that if you're going to set these up, think about the psychology of the consumer who's opting in. If you're talking about a business owner, think about a business owner. What does their schedule look like? Because if you're doing prospecting for your business, right, you're talking B2B. But if you're doing B2C, meaning you have a client and now you're running ads for them and you're using software for the follow-up, now you're talking about B2C, which they have a different schedule than a business owner does, right? And so you have to think about the psychology of the target audience that you're reaching out to. B2B is going to be different than B2C, and you just got to put yourself in the shoes of the person opting in. Think about them and think about what their schedule might look like, and then set your timing and your follow-ups around those times. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. So let's just say day 2, I want to send a text at 8, and it is another secret tactic here, because the last thing we want is for them to so we want to just send it like in the middle, like not exactly like 8:20, right, is a better time than like 8:30, because it's just a little bit more natural. So just keep it around that, keep it kind of mid. So 8:20, then do like 12:20 if you're going to hit the lunchtime, and then do 4:40 if you're going to do the evening time, and then do like 5:20 after 5 if you're going to, you know what I'm saying? So rather than the halves, like 5 on the dot, 5:30 on the dot type deal. So let's just say I want to send another text message. If they don't reply, hey, is this first name? Touching base. You recently submitted your information to learn more about selling your home. So usually what I do, guys, because attention spans are smaller than goldfish, is that every single time up until I get an actual response, I remind them why I have their information, and 2, why I'm even reaching out to them in the first place. Because the thing is like, if you just look at your phone, how many text messages you get in a single day, not considering like the spam ones you get, like they are overwhelmed, right? And so their attention spans are super short. So reminding them is going to bring them back in time to the time where they submitted their information. And then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I got you. Okay, I remember now. Bam. And then you get back into the sales process. So that's why I would remind them, hey, you recently submitted your information to learn more about selling your home. But the question that I'm asking is, hey, is this so-and-so name? Because that's the question that I want them to answer. And then what I would say after, once they respond, is like, awesome, Mary. The best thing that we can do, what we find best is that we jump on a call to see kind of what you're looking for, what your goals are, and see what's going to be the best fit for our team. So literally right when they engage, I would bam, jump on a call. Does that make sense? So literally once they confirm, oh yes, it's so-and-so name. Yes, it's me. Oh, perfect. The best thing we can do from here is jump on a call. We find it best to jump on a call, whether it's Zoom, right? We find it best to jump on Zoom so that we can meet each other, find out what your goals are, and see how we can best support each other. Does that sound good? I have this time available, or you could shoot them off your calendar link. Now, the difference is if you shoot your calendar link, you're relying on them to book a call. I don't like that myself. Okay, I don't like relying on other people's freaking activities or actions for my success. Okay, so what I do is I give them a time. So I'll say, okay, well, I have tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. so we could jump on a Zoom. What time works better for you? So I give them a this or that, and then I book the call myself. So it's now, and then I say, okay, yeah, just real quick, can I confirm your email and phone number? The one I have on file is this and that. Does that work best for you? And they're going to say yes. And then you're going to book the call on your calendar, and then that's going to send them a notification of the Zoom. And what you do is you sync your Calendly account with Zoom so that when you book a call, it sends them a Zoom link right out the gate. You don't have to reach out to them again and send them a Zoom link manually. It'll just already be embedded in that calendar invitation that you're going to forward to them when you book that call. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's done inside of Calendly. So you just got to make sure before you book the call with that person yourself that their Zoom account is set up and synced with Calendly so that it fires it off. Because if you don't do that, it'll just say you got an event booked with Caesar or whatever, and there's nothing more than just the time, and that's it. There's not going to even be any like phone number or anything for them to call. So that's how I would do it. And so, yeah, so that's how you would set that up. Any questions, guys? Like, oh, so let me just save this, okay? Let's just pretend we're happy with this, okay? And let's go back into the deal stages because I want to put this live. So we did a 4 message automation there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to settings here. Now I'm on deal stage, and I want that campaign to fire off like the one that says, hey, is this so-and-so, right? In lead in, because I want that to fire off the second the lead comes in from Facebook. So I'm going to go ahead and hit edit, and I'm going to click. So this is the deal stage name, and the campaign that I want to fire off is the test campaign that I just created. You see what I mean? So I just created that in the campaign section of Funnelbolt, the one we just worked on together on this call. And now, I named it test campaign, which is why it's that on here. And so I just click on that, then I hit save, and then bada bing, bada boom, it is literally set up to trigger. So now what happens is this guy right here. So let's just say I add a deal here. And I don't think it'll fire off because Twilio and SendGrid isn't set up on this specific account. But for example, if I were to add a deal, let's just name this John Doe. John at doe.com, and then 55555. Okay, great. All right, save. Okay. Bam. So John Doe, I just added in. Okay. The reason it fell into this pile is because on default, anybody you add manually will fall into that first deal stage. Does that make sense? So if you're running ads but simultaneously doing something like cold calling or even Facebook DMs or LinkedIn prospecting, where you're finding leads in different sources, right? And they're just as good as a Facebook lead, right? You're just using different vehicles to find prospects, right? You would want to add a different column in here specifically for that. So I would add a new stage in here, and I would call that manual input. Okay. And I would move that up over here. Oops, let me go over here. Deal stage order. I would drag that over here. I would hit save like that. And then if I go back to deals, here's manual input. Okay. Now, if I were to just if I add another contact, it would fall under manual input. Okay. Meaning, if I didn't want anything to trigger right out the gate, depending on what I have set up, if I didn't want anything to trigger, nothing's going to trigger because I didn't set it up under here, right? So under manual input, I have nothing. So I can add a contact under deals, it'll fall under here. And then only when I drag this bad boy over here over to lead in, will the campaign fire off that I set up under this deal stage. So the second I drop this in here, bam, Okay, if I were to open up the contact, okay, what you're gonna see is that this campaign is trying to fire, as you can see. You see, it doesn't know that the number's fake. It doesn't know any of that stuff. It's just trying to fire off because I've set that up to fire when that contact goes into that deal stage. Does that make sense? And so here, if they were to reply to that initial message, okay, and guys, the guys who've just recently joined, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. We have a few minutes left, so if you guys really want to get some value, just drop your questions in the chat, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. But basically, guys, so if the contact replies, you will see that reply in here. So let me just show you kind of like an actual one that's like live. Let me show you like a real contact. Let me see if I can like show you like, okay, so look at this. So this is a real life like response. As you can see, this is my contact, and you could see, hey, CJ, this is Contractor Solutions. We never connected on our last scheduled call. We want to get you started. What's a good time to chat? Hey, I would like to cancel this for now. Thank you. Check this out and let me know what your partner thinks, right? And this is just an example. So as you can see, there's multiple campaigns that have been triggered for this context specifically, but let's just go over to leads real quick. And let me just show you something here. So this is an actual real pipeline, guys. This is a real live breathing pipeline, okay? And these are real deal stages. And so this is our setup lead in, as you can see, the manual input, okay? But we're also running ads, and we're running a lot of money towards ads. And anyone who falls or who comes from ads, we have set it up to fall under the paid ad opt-in. Makes sense? Because the sales flow of a paid ad opt-in is going to be different than a manual input flow, because we're going to speak to the gatekeeper, because we're manually inputting. So we're either cold calling or sending, finding them online or whatever. And here we're just basically, this is our pipeline stages. So when we get someone interested, we send them a video. Send decision maker video. And that video shares with them who we are, what makes us different, what we do, and who we work with. Right? In 3 minutes. And so it's literally like think about it as like a micro 3-minute video you can all create for your business, that if anyone has information or raises their hand, hey, yeah, that sounds good. Hey, check out this video and let me know what you think. It shares with you my process, right? And so we do that, and that's where you see that deal stage there. This one is spoke to decision maker, send 2-minute video. Okay, meaning I spoke to the owner of the company. He's like, yeah, send me that video. I'd love to check it out. Great, bam. So I drag them over to this, and automatically I have it triggering to fire off that video because I have it set up in a campaign. So I don't have to touch a thing. It's like, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll send it over. Bam, move them over to this deal stage, and bam, it fires off the link with the video and all that cool stuff. Okay. Now, not interested, get feedback. That's because they weren't interested or whatever. Paid in opt-in, that's when they come in from a lead ad. Scheduled qualification call, because we have a calendar on our landing page. So if they do schedule a call, we have it set up to automatically move that person from this slot, from this deal stage to this deal stage. Because now we want to know like what our pipeline looks like, right? Now, when we get on a call, after the call, we either move them manually to not qualified, or qualified appointment not set for close, or qualified an appointment set for closed, or no show. You see, so these are the different outcomes. Okay, so once you get on a call, okay, well, that can go different ways, right? They can either buy from you, they can either say they're interested and they're too busy to schedule the next call with you or whatever, or they're interested and they schedule that next call, right? Those outcomes. Okay, so that's what you see here. Now, let me show you under settings real quick, all these different automations. So as you can see, we have nothing happening under manual input because we're manually inputting that information, and we don't want anything to trigger yet until we have literally moved them over to this next deal stage, where you see this is where we fire off this campaign. Spoke to gatekeeper, send decision maker 2-minute video. Okay, so this only triggers when I drag somebody from the lead in stage here into this pile here. It'll automatically fire off. Okay, so let me go back here. And then I have not interested, get feedback. We don't have anything firing off there. But paid ad opt-in, we do. So Facebook lead ad follow-up campaign, you see? So there's a unique sequence that goes out to a Facebook lead ad lead, because obviously, you know, their level of awareness is different than someone we spoke to manually, right? And we inputted them manually, right? So the campaign there is different. And then you have scheduled qualification calls. So when they schedule a call in Calendly on autopilot, right, we have it triggered so that when the call is scheduled, okay, we want them to be, one, switched over to this deal stage. But not only that, secondly, we also want to fire off this campaign, which is after schedule strategy call. Now, what this campaign is doing is it's actually setting a reminder up for that person's call. So what I mean by that is we have it set up to remind them an hour before their scheduled time and say, hey, first name, we have a call scheduled in an hour. Is it still going to be a good time? Because I ain't got time to waste. Neither does our team. So we want to make sure if the time needs to be changed that we know an hour ahead, right? Because I'm not going to show up to a call and just sit there like just waiting, right? So we have that to fire off automatically. So it reminds them that there's a call scheduled. And if they need to change it, to let us know so we can reschedule it, you know, for a different time, right? And then we have a no-show campaign. So if we had a scheduled call and they, for whatever reason, didn't reply to the message, but here I am on the call waiting for them, and I wait, usually my waiting period on a call. So if I have a scheduled call with you, let's say at 3 p.m., the longest I'll wait is about 7 to 8 minutes before I close down that call, before I just give up, right? And what I mean by that is, you know, because it gives you some buffer time. You know, you might be in the car, you might be trying to connect, you might be this or that. So I give about 7, 8 minute buffer, even 10 sometimes. If I have a sales team, it's you know, usually 10 for them. And so when that time passes and they're not there, well, I end the meeting and then I drag that person from you know, appointment set to no show, to the closing call. And then at that point, then we trigger off a no-show campaign. You see that? So then that no-show campaign says something along the lines like, hey, first name, we had a call scheduled at this time. We must have missed you. You're probably super busy. We get it. You know, here's the link to reschedule. Let me know what time works for you, for example. Okay, and we get them right back into the pipeline. And in this specific example, guys, our offer was 4K. Okay, so that's what we were selling it for. That's our offer. That's our program. It's $4,000 for the service that we were offering in this case. So, you know, this works for high ticket. This works for low ticket. This works for really any offer. You just got to make sure your language and the sequence of events and patterns that you use in your messaging is on point, depending on their level of awareness. Bogdan says, thanks for this. I would love the recording if possible. Bogdan, all trainings on Wednesdays are recorded and uploaded into the free membership area, which you should all have access to. If not, click on this right here. If you see in your dashboard, there's a little training button right here. If you just click on that, okay, it'll take you over to this page. And if you don't have an account, it'll ask you to create one. And if you do have an account, you'll just be able to log in directly. And you'll see not only this recording, all the past recordings, plus a whole bunch of freaking awesome trainings that are in there that's going to help you, you know, set yourself up for success. Kenny says, one question for me, does the system specifically for email let me know if and when an email is opened? Great question, Kenny. So yes, absolutely. So what you would do, let me go over to an actual live pipeline so you could see. If you notice, Kenny, if we scroll down under here, history, you're going to see right down here the activity. Okay, and here you'll also see the activity under notifications. So here it says type email subject. Here's a 2-minute video. Click here to open the email. This shows that the campaign went out, and then in here shows, you see Martinez Casimiro opened the email right here. You see that? So in here under notifications, you see all activity, all engagement that's happening through your entire pipeline. So whether they replied back to your email or reply back to a text message, you see all of the text messages and email responses will be under this section here, and you can just you just click on it and open up that conversation. You see? So this is a real life conversation that we're having here. And it started as, hey, Ben, we just received your inquiry about our paper show program. You are a roofing company owner, right? Yes, yes. 12:30 tomorrow. We spoke before. Did you change your program? Yes, we're production based. Okay, we'll talk at 12:30. This guy literally, submitted his information for 2 different offers that we've had, and he came to our ad twice. So that's why he was like, is this the same program or a different one? So think about that. This guy just likes clicking on ads. But yeah, so this is a real example. And the beauty of this, guys, is you can call the lead through here. And if you click on call now through here, what's going to happen is so let's say you have your cell phone number. If you're the one taking the calls and your phone number is the one listed, or if it's a sales guy, whoever's phone is listed as the notification phone, and when you click this number, what's going to happen is it's going to ring your phone, and you're going to pick up the phone, you're going to accept it, and it's going to route you to this person's phone number, right? So it's going to forward that call. And what's going to happen is that call is going to actually be recorded. So if you have a sales team, okay, you want to advise them and educate them to use this dashboard to place their calls. Why? Because the goal is for you not to have to take calls forever, right? Where you can replace yourself with someone who can take those calls for you. But your role would be to quality assurance those calls and listen to those calls to make sure that those calls are being handled appropriately. And what you would do is you would come up here and you would come over here. I have this big video thing in my way, but you go over here and then you go over to call log over here on the right hand side, okay? And then bam, okay, you can hear all the recordings in here. Okay, 48 seconds, etc. You can click on play. And the beauty of this as well is you can download the recordings of the calls. Okay, so if you really want to have fun, you can build an army of a sales team, because what you would do is any call that went really, really well, and also calls that didn't go so well, you would download them and you would segment them into different folders. So you would name the folder 1 like closed calls, for example. And you would name folder 2 like, didn't close on first call, but closed on third call, for example. And you would have examples of those different calls and interactions and how they went, so that when you bring on a sales guy, guess what? It's not going to be about, he said, she said. It's like, hey, guy, listen to these calls. This is your reference of success. If you're having trouble, listen to these calls. These calls were done right. These are the right way to do the calls. These are closes. I want you to, follow this as much as possible. And in any time you're feeling like you're stuck or whatever, come back to the references. Because the reason most people don't succeed is because they don't have a reference to succeed from. The issue that we have in our industry is that you have the blind leading the blind, right? And so when you got the blind leading the blind, you're telling someone to do something you've never done, and then it's like an ongoing hamster wheel. Okay, so when you got your stuff dialed in, if you have a reference or a recording of it documented, you would download that and then use that to train the rest of your team, and even create trainings around helping your clients and your prospects. So one way we do this as well is that in our business, we created a sales training for our clients in order for them to get more production out of their leads that we were generating for them. So that was included in our sophisticated offer. We're like, hey, we're not just going to generate leads for you. We're also going to include a sales training so you can get more production, plus a CRM that's going to follow up for you, set appointments for you on autopilot. And that way you don't have to really do a thing other than just show up and close. Do your thing, man. Think about how that offer sounds, right? And they're like, dang, that sounds good, right? And because we're a complete solution, we're not just a lead gen company. We are a specialist in what we do. So we set you up for success across the board. And so that's how you should pitch it. And pitching it that way will elevate the value of your offer, allowing you to charge more, allowing for your client to see more value in your offering, and allowing them to stick around for longer, because your offer is now more sticky, because you're not just sending them leads. Now you got them in this CRM that's going to follow up everything for them. So they're going to get used to this thing, and they're going to be like, shit, I can't live without this anymore. And then the last thing is that all their data is going to be in this CRM. So they're going to get so pumped up and so used to using this thing that it's going to be so difficult for them to cancel services with you. unless you just completely bomb everything and you're just completely like, just not delivering at all. So that would be kind of, the way I would propose it. Does anybody have any questions, by the way? I feel like I'm rambling on. Anyone have any questions as far as use cases for their business? Give me guys your industries. We talk about Caesar, Bogdan, anybody, Kenny, let me know what niche that you're in. We have about 6 more minutes on this call. So I just want to get you guys the most value I can. Scott, any questions? Yeah.
With one Funnelbolt account, can we like manage 2 companies or do I need another Funnelbolt account for another company?
When you mean company, what do you mean by that exactly? Do you mean a complete separate company entity where you're offering a complete different service?
Yes.
Or like a client, like a different client?
No, like a different service, different everything.
I mean, it really depends on how you want to set it up, because you could just simply, just make sure you're organized up here with your pipeline. So, you just keep everything under the one roof, and then you would just title your clients business A, this client, business B, this client. You can keep them all under one roof, or you can separate the two and then have 2 accounts. But I would try to keep them under one roof if you can. That way it's all kind of centralized. You would just come in here, clients, click on clients, and then you would go in here and add client like this.
Okay.
And then you would name it, title it first name, last name. Rather than first name, last name, name that your company, like the actual, because the first name, last name is what pops up here. So in this case, for Contractor Solution, the first name is Contractor, the last name is Solutions. And that's how you have it up here. Make sense?
Yes.
So that's how I would do it. Does anybody else have any questions? We have about 5 minutes left. By the way, does anybody on this call sign up for the Boost Accelerator? Did anybody on here join?
I should have.
How are you guys liking it so far? Week 1. Unmute yourself. Let me hear what you guys think so far.
I'm like halfway through. So yeah, so far so good. I just signed up for Funnelbolt like a week ago. So got a ways.
Nice.
I'm still learning the system. So that's why I'm
here.
Here.
What did you think about the training? What you've gone through, like creating your offer?
I've gone through the first 2. So your video and then the other one about your customer, your avatar. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I'm
what
halfway.
Do you think?
I think there's 4, Yeah, it's good so far. So I do real estate photography.
Oh, nice.
And then I've got a couple, and I also do like small business websites and stuff, but I'm in like the Myrtle Beach area. So it's kind of rural around here. Mm-hmm. And then of course you got tourism based. So it's not really a large market, I would say. But I've got a couple realtors that want more marketing services, So like not just photography. So I'm trying to expand that service line.
Here's a little tip for you that will help you grow your business. So what you would want to do, I mean, you can run ads and get customers that way, but a really solid plan for you right now, especially because you're in an area that's not so populated, is to build relationships and strategic partnerships with real estate agents, property managers, development companies, construction companies, contractors that deal with homes that may be doing work on a home that is going to be sold, because usually contractors get called when they're about to sell or they just bought, or it really depends, but they work a lot they usually get called when the owner's trying to sell because they need to get it to code, and then bam. And so in order for them to sell it quicker, putting you into the mix, the chances of them selling it faster, I mean, I think the percentage of selling them with video, like aerial, like what you're doing, is like 40-something% higher, faster, or something. Use that metric to sell your service and build that strategic partner with a real estate agent in your local community so that they can feed you business.
Yeah.
Right. And then that alone can build, take your business to 7 figures with the right connections. Okay. And you can either do that by cold calling, you can cold email them. You can send them a message on Facebook or LinkedIn, find their contact on LinkedIn, property development company in Myrtle Beach, owner. Hey, what's going on? Right? You know, my name's so-and-so, right? And I was just reaching out because I saw you were the property manager at so-and-so. I help real estate agents with aerial photography, which allows them to sell their homes 50% faster. I'd love to jump on a call to discuss how we may be able to support each other. Do you have some time this week? Bam. Take that home, hit a home run with that bad boy right there, because that shit works. Okay, that right there alone is worth this entire training. Okay, so everyone on this call, take that exact wording that I use, that language pattern, and take that to the moon. Okay, because that is what works. Okay, it's straight to the point. There's no fluff. It's a win-win scenario, and you're not, you know, cornering him anywhere. You're just saying, hey, I'd love to see if we can support each other. Everyone on here, on this call, I don't care what business you're in, okay? There are people in there in similar businesses, supplemental businesses, okay, that you can reach out to, okay? Give me any niche. Throw me a curveball right now. Somebody throw a niche in the chat real quick. Any niche, and I'll show you what my brain, how it thinks when it comes to finding this stuff, okay? Throw me a niche, anybody.
The wine and design.
Wine and design. Okay. Wine and design. All right. You're talking about like those places where you go in and drink and you like paint.
Yeah. Yeah. Paint and sip, all that type of stuff.
All right, cool. I'd reach out to, you know, your local, you know, communities that have, you know, your chamber, not your chamber of commerce, but like, you know, where you sign up for like sports, your local sports, like baseball, like your Optimus sports, bam, plug in there and let them share that to everybody that comes in to sign. Oh, by the way, we got this new place that just jumped in or whatever. Second thing, okay, this one might just blow your mind. Okay, if that was your actual business, what you could do is reach out to businesses, corporations in the area that have employed, you know, 30, 40, 50 employees, reach out to them and say, hey, have you guys ever thought about doing like a team outing at a freaking paint and twist, right? Here in Colorado, they have like a puffin paint or something crap like that. I'm in Colorado where people smoke and then they freaking paint. But what if that was your business or your paint or the wine and dine was reaching out to like commercial, bigger companies of 30 employees plus that have like a big people, like a lot of people, reaching out to the owner of that and saying, hey, have you ever thought about doing a team outing here at the wine and dine? You know, I'd love to set up an amazing special for you guys so you can bring your team out here on an outing. And we can work out an arrangement where we can do this every quarter or whatever it is. And, you know, we'll literally reserve the entire place for you. We'll create a design specific to your business that will add value to your brand so that everyone in here will have something to take home that reminds them of their company that brought them here. And you guys will all come home with like a trophy of your hard work and have a great time. And it's proven that team outings improve the sales, culture, and everything by X percentage, which is why we're reaching out to a company of 30 plus employees, and we don't do deals with companies in any smaller size. Do that, okay? And you're out, you're good. You don't even have to prospect anymore, okay? But you got to think of this in a way as like, okay, who can I make a win-win scenario with? How would it be a win-win to that commercial guy? Well, shoot, if their sales increased, they have a better culture in their business, and everybody loves coming to work all of a sudden because now their owner is like investing into the team, then everybody wins. Okay. The paint place makes like out of 100 people a shit ton of money, right? Probably enough business to feed them for a week, right? And then the commercial guy gets a happier team. They're freaking pumped up. They love the owner now. And they're not complaining about a raise anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been there. Okay. A long time ago, but that's how corporate America works. That's how you now have to incentivize your team to stick around, right? Because if not, they're just going to flee and go to the next guy. So you want to make sure you build that winning environment. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions as far as anything? Did you guys find this valuable, by the way? Drop a 1 if you found this valuable. I just started dropping bombs in here because Jordan couldn't make it today, but Jordan had a family emergency, but he'll be back here next week to kind of, you know, serve you guys as well. But once again, guys, we do this every single Wednesday. If you catch the recording, you're going to get the, it'll be uploaded in the membership area here in a couple hours, hopefully very soon. And then you guys can rewatch it at your own time, as well as also rewatch any of the previous videos that we've done in the previous weeks. Besides that, if you haven't jumped in the Boost Accelerator, highly suggest you jump in now if you're looking for a bargain, because we are increasing the price every single week as we go. I believe the price right now for the Boost Accelerator is $600. So it has already increased from what it was already. So if you haven't jumped in, you don't want to pay more than that, jump in now, and you'll get the incentive and you'll be able to unlock everything for the rest of the weeks and get access to the paid membership area, and also join Friday's live call, which me, Jordan, and Zach will be on live talking about all the topics that were covered in week 1 of the Boost Accelerator. So I'm freaking pumped up. I'm excited that you guys are getting a ton of value from it. And I'm excited for you guys, more importantly, to implement this stuff in your business and start getting more production out of your pipeline, closing more deals, and freaking automating a lot of it. So it takes a lot of that burden off your shoulders. So no other questions, guys. I'll see you guys next week. And